Let's go. It's the Whitey Show. Whitey Show. Whitey Show. Whitey Show. Whitey Show.
Which part, old man, that ain't got time to shake your head? Get that side check, put it in pockets till I get back. Going downtown.
Alright, for any long-time viewers or newcomers, Final Fantasy is a series that I kind of love, but I kind of hate sometimes because some of the games are just crap. And I actually have a new idea, top 5 spin-offs for Final Fantasy, which we'll get to another day. Today we're talking about Final Fantasy Type-0. This is a special game. It came out years back, and not in America, though. So, we never got a chance to actually try this spin-off that was held as more of kind of a mature, dark look at the Final Fantasy series. So, the game finally made its way here on the PS4 and Xbox One of all systems, because it was originally a PSP game. The story is about a class of kids who take on missions for their side of their, I guess, the world is kind of at war with each other, almost like a civil war, it looks like. We're at war with the guys that actually kind of look like the good guys because they're all blue and they feel like the heroes, and we're kind of like this red evil looking thing, and most of the people you work on are just complete dicks. But anyway, you have to go there and you basically have to kill them or shut down their organization and so on, and it's a bit confusing, but the more you play, the more you get into it. But what really gets you is, you know, learning about Class 0. Those are all the kids in your class, and you invest time into them and you become more invested with them than anything that the actual war is going on. So that's pretty cool. But with this darker take on the franchise, do we actually get a quality game? I mean, that's the most important thing. We're finding out right now.
No, I haven't. You?
Visual! Kill them!
Which part, old man, that ain't got time to shake your head? Get that side check, put it in pockets till I get back. Going downtown.
Right off the bat, the atmosphere is pretty well established from the get-go. We open with a bunch of students getting slaughtered. Then you cut to a chocobo who saves you, like, barely. And remember these, like, cute little chocobos that look like gigantic chickens? Yeah, well, it's bloody as fuck. Wounds all over its body. It's saving the master's life. And then you find out that it's dying, and then only moments later, it does die. The game is filled with these types of scenes. Scenes of sadness, of desperation, of actions of war. It leaves you feeling those effects, and that's pretty new for a Final Fantasy game. The combat is unique in a sense. You set your character with 4 moves, basically, and you work around them to kill the monsters. There's far-range users, there's magic users, there's close range, and kind of a mixed match of all those things, and so on and so on. Each monster has a weakness and strength. So that makes it unique in the fact that each creature has a certain moment of weakness. This is my favorite part of it. So when they do a certain move, or before they do it, or right after an attack, there's a little thing that pops up, and you can either do a critical hit or just one-shot kill them. And this makes a battle very, very easy to win, but at the same time can make it really hard, because if you miss and they hit you, you're basically going to die in 2 or 3 hits. I love this. It amps up the gameplay. It makes it to stay on your tiptoes at all times and try to maneuver while kicking ass and not just clicking X, 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 X over and over again. The content is also back in this game, and also the openness of the game is something that, you know, vets of Final Fantasy, such as myself or anybody watching this who's played Final Fantasy way before Final Fantasy 13, this game wants you to replay it once you beat it, giving you new stuff to look at. There's actually new cutscenes, there's new content after you beat the first time. The openness, this is something I love, lets you walk around this pretty large overworld. As you get into random fights, you can grind a little, you can do side missions. It brings back that old Final Fantasy feeling, and in a good way. Also, the thing that I really love, each character feels very unique. With a certain weapon at their disposal, they are all well made and different. There's 14 to play with. On top of that, when you level them, they give you plenty of different ways to alter your character's move list, but you still can only use 2 of their special moves. So you really gotta learn how you want to play. Do you want your character to be a far range? Do you want to be a close range, mid range, all that stuff? Plus, do you want to do it like this? Do you want him to be quick and then super attack? So on. And it's great because they give you plenty of choices and plenty of special moves to mix and match with. So I really do love that. I love when each character feels unique and you're not just playing carbon copies of each other. Now, the bad definitely start off with the obvious graphics. They aren't HD remaster, or maybe they are, but some of the models look pretty good, as do some of the effects, especially the effects, and some of the monsters. But don't get it twisted, it's still a pretty low budget looking game, because it is a PSP game, and it really looks like a beginner PS3 game, and I just wanted much more from the graphics. You'd think Square, the megaton of Japanese RPGs, would, I don't know, invest and overhaul the whole system and make it pretty for maybe even a late PS3 game, but no, this is definitely an early PS3 game, if not even lower. Also, the difficulty spikes out of nowhere, and it's usually due to some really crappy design at some points of the game, and sometimes unfair deaths that leave you more frustrated than actually having fun and revisiting the same missions to beat it quicker and get a higher grade in that mission. This can just get annoying, and some fans will get very pissed. I definitely did. A steady rise of difficulty should always be a video game design, always, and when it just spikes, gets super hard and then really easy for the next 5 hours, that's not a good idea. Now, the awful. The voice acting is pretty terrible, let's be real. I usually don't let it linger in my head because it's Final Fantasy, but the majority of the voices in this game are pretty weak or just not done right, or they have a script that's wrong. Like, it tells you to be shocked, but they'll be like, oh my gosh, or whoa, or yo. Yo is used in this game more than anybody in the world. Now, I use yo a lot, but not nearly as much as I think Nine or King or one of the names in this game uses it every time he talks. So he'll be like, let's go there, yo. What are you doing, yo? Oh man, that's a cool sword, yo. I mean, it's just not cool. Now, saying that, the problem with that is that the dark and brooding feel of the atmosphere of this game is great, but it's dragged down by the shitty voice acting. That's easily the biggest fuck up for me. It's like Square couldn't bother to give some decent freaking voice acting with all the money they throw at these games.
This feeling.
A crystal jammer?
An Imperial attack?
As I suspected, we've been sitting in their
Which
trenches.
one, old man, that ain't got time? Shake your head. Get that side check. Put it in pockets like it's back. Going downtown.
Final Fantasy Type-0 is a game that would have fared better if it was released originally when it came out a while ago on the PSP. Because that's where most of the faults come from. Like, the people complain about the camera, doesn't, you know, with the blur, and it doesn't really affect me. I played games with way worse camera, and I don't really get affected by the blur. But, and obviously, the second thought on the voice acting here, it's just not cool. Still, though, the combat itself and the feel of the game, the atmosphere, it just makes it a lot of fun for some reason, especially old-time Final Fantasy fans. You know, they give you a lot of content, and that just brings back the happiness of the bullshit corridor shit they've been doing in Final Fantasy 13 series. This just, the problem with it feels like a low budget compared to what you should expect from the series. Even the spin-offs, which I felt like Tactics and Crisis Corp had a little bigger budget here. But I did have a shit ton of fun when I was in the fight and switching characters on the go and fighting big ass bosses. It was just a lot of fun and timing my attacks. So if you're more into the battle system and the kind of the mood and the dark atmosphere, and of course the content, you get a ton of it, go check this out. You'll be surprised as an RPG fan to actually enjoy it. It still feels a little bit of a you know, just put this out to Final Fantasy 15, but as far as it goes as a spin-off, it's still one of the ones that I actually enjoyed. So I'm going to give this one a 7.5 out of 10. It's a good game. If you can buy it cheap, or if you want the demo for Final Fantasy 15, it's definitely worth the full price for both of them, because that demo's like 5 fucking hours. But if you just want to try a new Final Fantasy, rent this game or get it when it's about 40 bucks or less. Everybody have a good day. Hope you enjoy. Leave your questions below. Leave your opinions on this game if you got it. And I'm out.